Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Skyrim Anniversary Edition. My name is Zanny,
I'm Better Whiskey.
and we'll be your hosts for this evening. Let's try and find Valerica, shall we?
Sounds good.
Oh. Well, maybe let's not start by going the wrong way, eh? I thought I knew where I was going. I just realized something. I hope I don't glitch the game to heck when we leave here. Because technically you're not supposed to be able to take Arvac with you, but I've modded it to where you can.
Oh, yeah.
And let's see if Valerica has her head attached. Hey, Serana. Here she comes.
Mother? Mother! Serana? Is it really you? I can't believe it. How do we get inside? We have to talk.
Serana, what are you doing here? Where's your father?
Okay.
Yes,
This,
no, we're
just
here.
no.
We don't have time to explain.
Just no.
I must have failed. He found a way to decipher the prophecy, hasn't he?
No, you
I
can't
don't
go
get
wrong.
it.
We're here to complete the prophecy.
Why does her head still here? But,
You've brought a stranger here? Have you lost your mind?
No, you don't.
You, come forward. I would speak with you. So how has it come to pass that a vampire of mixed blood is in the company of my daughter?
Well, when a guy likes a girl very, very much, not
and they
not
both
the question you're asking.
and they both happen to be immortal.
I'm just here for the Elder Scroll.
No. I'm keeping her safe.
Safe? You call bringing her here safe? Has she
Yeah.
mean nothing to you? Serana has sacrificed everything to prevent Harkon from completing the prophecy. I would have expected her to explain that to you.
Okay, well, that's why I'm here for the scroll, babe.
You think I'd have the audacity to place my own daughter in that tomb for the protection of her Elder Scroll alone? The scrolls are merely a means to an end. The key to the tyranny of the sun is Serana herself.
What do you mean?
When I fled Castle Volkahar, I fled with 2 Elder Scrolls. The scroll I presume you found with Serana speaks of Ariel and his arcane weapon, Ariel's bow. The second scroll declares that the blood of Coldharbour's daughter will blind the eye of the dragon.
Okay. So how does Serana fit into this?
Like myself, Serana was a human once. We were devout followers of Lord Molig Bal. Tradition dictates the females be offered to Molig Bal on his summoning day. Few survive the ordeal. Those that do emerge as a pure-blooded vampire. We call such confluences the Daughters of Coldharbour.
The sad part is, do you understand what they're saying actually happens?
Not quite.
He ends up date raping them.
Oh.
And if they live,
Okay.
then they become vampires. If they die, they die.
Yeah, that's unfortunately pretty normal of vampire lore.
What?
Is this... Who is she talking? Is she talking about their father? Or is she talking about Solana's father, or is she talking about somebody else?
She's talking about the guy that turned them into vampires.
Yeah, that's typically how it goes.
Interesting. I did not know that.
I don't know about, like, I've never read the book Dracula, so I don't know if that's like the original legend, but that is a common legend in like vampire lore, is that whole process basically.
Well, apparently in this particular version of said lore, that was expected.
I'd have the audacity to place my own daughter in that tomb for the protection of her elder. The scrolls are merely a means. When I fled, the second scroll, like my tradition, we call such confluences the Daughters of Coldharbour.
And Serana underwent this ritual willingly?
It was expected of her, just as it was expected of me. Being selected as an offering to Molig Bal is an honor. She wouldn't have dared turn her back on that.
Okay, I just now realized something, and I've been playing this game for 10 years. They use the same voice actress for Serana's mother as they did for Astrid.
Oh. Interesting.
Wow, how did I not notice that? That's funny. So yeah, the tyranny of the sun requires her blood.
Now you're beginning to see why I wanted to protect Serana, and why I've kept the other Elder Scroll as far from her as possible.
Yeah, so Harkon's gonna kill her?
If Harkon obtained Ariel's bow, and Serana's blood was used to taint the weapon, the tyranny of the sun would be complete. In his eyes, she'd be dying for the good of all vampires. And how exactly do you plan on completing the prophecy without the death of my daughter?
The exact same way the game is scripted to do so, but yeah, I don't think she's not supposed to know that. But in any case, my part is I'll take care of Harkon.
If you believe that, then you're a bigger fool than I originally suspected. Don't you think I weighed that option before I enacted my plans?
Clearly not. Otherwise you wouldn't have... Well, never mind. Let's not go there.
You care nothing for Serana, or our plight.
You assume a lot, lady.
The sun is your chance at deification. And like Harkon, you won't hesitate to destroy anything that stands in your path.
Yeah. She believes in me, why don't you?
Serana, this stranger may call herself a vampire, but she knows nothing about...
I can't take her seriously.
Why should I entrust you to her?
This stranger has done more for me in the brief time I've known her than you've done in centuries.
Ooh, burn!
I gave up everything I cared about to protect you from that fanatic you call a father.
Yes, he's a fanatic. He's changed. But he's still my father. Why can't you understand how that makes me feel?
Serana, if you'd only open your eyes. The moment your father discovers your role in the prophecy, that he needs your blood, you'll be in terrible danger.
So to protect me, you decided to shut me away from everything I cared about. You never asked me if hiding me in that tomb was the best course of action. You just expected me to follow you blindly. Both of you were obsessed with your own paths. Your motivations might have been different, but in the end, I'm still just a pawn to you two. I want us to be a family again. But I don't know if we can ever have that. Maybe we don't deserve that kind of happiness. Maybe it isn't for us. But we have to stop him before he goes too far. And to do that, we need the Elder Scroll.
I'm sorry, Serana. I didn't know. I didn't see. I've allowed my hatred of your father to estrange us for too long. Forgive me. If you want the Elder
Well,
Scroll,
that de-escalated quickly.
Your intentions are still somewhat unclear to me. But for Serana's sake, I'll assist you in any way that I can.
Good for you.
Yes. I've kept it safely secured here ever since I was imprisoned. Fortunately, you're in a position to breach the barrier that surrounds these ruins.
Come again?
You need to locate the tallest of the rocky spires that surround these ruins.
The almighty Taurus?
These enemies being called from
What?
unfortunate souls that have been exiled here.
It's the invaders in.
Tending them,
Oh.
and it should bring the
No frame of reference. Never seen it.
One more word of warning. There's a dragon that calls itself Durnevere roaming the cairn. Be wary of him. The Ideal Masters have charged him with overseeing the Keepers, and will undoubtedly intervene if you're perceived as a threat.
Yay. How'd you get stuck here?
When I entered the Soul Cairn, I had intended to strike a bargain with the Ideal Masters, the custodians of this place.
What was the bargain?
I requested refuge in the Soul Cairn, and in exchange, I would provide the Ideal Masters the souls that they craved. If I had foreseen the value they placed on my own soul, I would never have come here.
Ah, so you got tricked.
The Ideal Masters unleashed their Keepers and sent them to destroy me. Fortunately, I was able to hold them at bay and retreat into these ruins.
Okay.
Unfortunately, yes. Since the Keepers weren't able to claim my soul, they had their minions construct a barrier that I'd never be able to breach.
You've been stuck here all this time?
Time has very little meaning to me. Consequently, it has little meaning to the Ideal Masters as well. I suppose you could call this the ultimate waiting game, each watching the other to see which will give in.
What I don't get is, yes, she's immortal, but she still needs to feed. How could she go that long without feeding? But then again, I don't know these vampires' lore either, per se.
Maybe she's feeding on souls.
How? They can't get in.
Aren't there still souls trapped here?
Yes, but she's stuck behind the barrier.
Well, I thought it was the barrier out of the soul cairn, but she can't freely roam the soul cairn either?
No. I guess you can't tell, but there's a purple barrier surrounding her here.
Oh, yeah, I can't see that.
Yeah. If you look
Keep my daughter safe.
If you look right around here, you might notice a smoky thing rising up. There. See it now?
Now I see it, yep.
Yeah. She's kind of stuck.
Let's kill those.
If you want that scroll, the barrier needs to come down.
Who are the Ideal Masters?
I know very little about them. They're mystic entities that lord over the Soul Cairn, controlling every aspect from its fabric to its appearance.
What do they resemble?
Well, some necromancers believe they are the crystalline structures dotting the Soul Cairn. I believe there's more to it than that.
How so?
I think they transcend what we perceive as a physical form. Perhaps they were once corporeal beings, but they've obviously reached a point where they no longer require a tangible presence.
The sad part is that description. My first thought is it sounds like God. Because, you know, Scripture doesn't give him a physical form.
Conduits, through which the Ideal Masters speak to their underlings and feed on their victims.
Why would they require sustenance?
The Ideal Masters' weakness is their insatiable hunger for pure souls. It's the reason for the Soul Cairn's existence, and the only leverage a necromancer has when bargaining with them.
What do they provide in return?
The ability to summon powerful undead guardians, as one would conjure an Atronak or Daedra. However, the majority of necromancers that are foolish enough to enter into a bargain with the Ideal Masters wind up here as harvested souls. Be careful, and keep my daughter safe.
Right.
I can't believe we found my mother alive. You know what
this game feels really weird to do in third person, you know? Well, that's a thing. Ooh, nice. You still there?
Yep.
Okay. 1 down, 2 to go. What the?
This won't end well for you.
Actually, yeah. I'm gonna... Where are you? Here you are. Not the most riveting commentary, but I can't think of things to say this late in the night.
Yeah. Kind of there for me, too.
Well, and as one YouTuber rather bluntly pointed out, I don't have the, quote, gift of gab.
Hmm.
My first thought was, well, that was kind of rude to say. But in the same token, he's not necessarily wrong either.
I feel like that's something that, like, you learn over time. You learn how to, like, focus more on commentary than on the gameplay, because that's one big thing that I've seen with a lot of the more popular YouTubers is they're really good at just keeping the commentary going, keeping the conversation up.
Yeah. I can do that if I can feed off of the other people. But just trying to be spontaneous on my own is not as easy as it looks.
Yeah.
What the? Oh, hello.
What do you want? How does anyone expect me to write my opus with all of these rude interruptions?
What are you talking about?
What do I mean, indeed? If I hadn't lost all of the pages, I wouldn't be in this predicament, and we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Okay, start at the beginning.
Very well. I suppose a moment or two of my time couldn't hurt. I am Jib. Some call me Saint Jib. Others call me Jib the Eradicator. Perhaps you've heard of me.
No, but you do remind me of the long-lost patriarchal Saint Jab.
Clever.
I really it wasn't. It's the thing. I'm like, there's more to this joke. I can keep this going, but nope. That's all I have.
I'd hardly call a 26-volume epic simply a book. Surely you've heard of the rise and fall of Saint Jib the Eradicator, hero of Morrowind and savior of the Dhalma.
Honey, if I'd heard of that, I would have recognized your name in the beginning. But, yeah. How about a shorter title?
Maybe you should leave the writing to an expert. Stop making foolish suggestions.
As an actual writer, I do find that line rather amusing.
Terrible. Simply terrible. I was in the midst of writing the second volume, and they just threw me into this prison. It's unfair.
Okay. Who?
That damn Remora and his minions. They didn't even give me a chance to explain who I was.
A Dremora captured you?
Well, I assume so. It cast a spell at me from some kind of strange black crystal. Next thing I knew, I arrived here.
Ah, you were soul trapped.
My what? That means...
Yes, sweetheart, you're dead.
No. All these wasted months. Or has it been years? I don't even remember how much time has passed. My work will never see the light of day. My name will be forgotten.
Could I help?
Perhaps. Do you have a way out of here?
Kind of. But you can't go that way.
Maybe I can't leave, but my writings can. In order to write the second volume of my opus, I need the notes from my first volume. Otherwise, I need to do all of this from memory.
How many pages did you lose?
When I was tossed in here, I felt myself falling, and I dropped the pages I had been holding. There were 10 of them in all. Find them for me, please. I beg you.
Okay. I can try at some point, but right now is not the best priority. Why would the Dremora attack you?
Well, that's a ridiculous question. Everyone traveling through here has said that the Oblivion Gates have been opening all over Tamriel.
That was 200 years ago, dude.
Has it been that long? My. Well, it started with the followers of Mehrunes Dagon having Emperor Uriel Septim VII assassinated. Without a Septim on the throne of the Empire, Dagon was able to leave Oblivion through the gates and attack.
Oh no.
That's the plotline of the previous Elder Scrolls game, yes.
All I heard is that without a Septim sitting on the throne of the Empire, the dragonfires in a place called the Temple of the One were no longer lit. This meant that we were vulnerable to the forces of Oblivion.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. Everything seemed fine until that Dremora attacked me. I only heard later about the gates from the other souls. I can only assume the gates have been closed by now.
Yep. Thanks to the hero of Kavach. How'd you earn your nickname?
Ah, yes. St. Jib the Eradicator, Jib the Magnificent. I've earned a lot of those titles thanks to my campaign against the Winged Menace.
Who?
Yes, I'm speaking of the Cliff Racer, of course. Wretched things. They used to crisscross the skies over Morrowind like vermin. Nasty flying creatures with a habit of sneaking up on the unwary.
What was your campaign against them?
After I was freed from prison, I decided to turn my life around. Give something back to the people of Morrowind. It became quickly apparent that the best way I could help would be by wiping out the Cliff Racers.
Were you successful?
Indeed I was. I hunted down and killed every last one of them. Took years. The people of Morrowind were so grateful to have the roads safer again, they took to calling me St. Jib, and then the other names followed.
Ah. Okay, you said you were in prison.
That was a dark time in my life. I did a lot of things I ended up regretting. Maybe that's why I worked so hard to redeem myself once I was freed.
What'd you do?
I murdered others for money. And before you think I belong to some romantic or secretive kill, think again. I was simply an addict who needed money for skooma. The stuff wasn't cheap. Murder always seemed to be in demand.
How'd you get caught?
I finally bit off more than I could chew. I was paid to assassinate some high-ranking official from House Redorin. What I didn't know is someone had hired the Morag Dog to kill him as well.
Ah.
Exactly. He got to my target first and called the guard to cover his tracks. By the time I got there, the place was on alert. Walked right into a trap and didn't even realize it until I was captured.
So, what ended up happening to you?
They tried me for murder, threw me on a prison ship, and sent me to the jail in Vivek City. Gave me a lot of time to think, that's for sure.
Okay. So now we've got to hunt for his 10 pages at some point, whenever I get the patience to do so. And just hope Slender doesn't come after us.
Yeah.
Sorry, that joke was way too easy. Oh, wow, we've been in here over a day.
Oh.
Okay, we've got one more keeper to find. Apparently, he's right over here somewhere. Oh. I stand corrected. He's up here. And, okay, now we go back to Valerica. Which, as far as the audience is concerned, I'll catch up to you when I get back there. Hang on. Hey, Valerica. Oh! Interesting. Okay, that explains a lot.
What's up?
Look at her body. It's gone purple. There's a texture mess up. That's why her head has disappeared.
Alright then.
I wonder what would happen if I reinstalled the mod I had intended to use. Would that give her head back?
The barrier should be gone now. Let's head back.
You managed to destroy all 3 keepers? Very impressive.
Yeah. Can we get the scroll now?
Yes. Please follow me. Keep watch for Durnafir. With the prison's barrier down, he's almost certain to investigate.
Right. And we'll get the scroll next time. Take care, y'all.
Later.